I'm gonna wreck it!
Anime dubs are a great way to introduce new fans to anime, as well as be able to experience anime the way the Japanese do. The dark days of anime dubbing are now over, and for the most part, we have good anime dubs, and even dubs coming out only days after the original episode aired. You'll rarely find a modern dub so bad that you'd switch over to the sub in a heartbeat. Funimation pumps out good dubs, Sentai is alright, sometimes, Viz is good, and Aniplex, when they do dub,
I cannot speak English.
does an okay job as well, but there are some horrible dubs that exist. These dubs are essentially like hitting your head on the wall. Your ears begin to bleed, and your skull may crack from the pain. I'm Awesome Socks, and today we'll be taking a look at the anime dubs that I think are the worst. There's only a couple of rules. First, I'm judging the dubs mainly by the voice acting. I don't care if they made some cuts to the story, because in all honesty, that doesn't matter to me. If anything, it makes rewatching the anime more enjoyable, because you can get more out of it. Rule number 2. This is my opinion, so don't chain me to Mama June and shove Pepe up my ass. I like being able to enjoy life. I remember when I was really young and got obsessed with Beyblade Metal Fusion. Hell, I loved it so much I wrote a movie about it. Don't ask me for links or anything, the movie's never made, and the script is god-awful. Fast forward to a couple of years since my Metal Fusion movie. I had taken a break from Beyblade for a while and decided I should try to watch the original series. I thought the original series had an awesome dub. Keep in mind that this was a few years ago, so my current opinion would probably be different from when I first watched the series. After being disappointed in Beyblade V-Force, I decided to try to watch Metal Fusion again. At this point in my life, I could tell the difference between a good dub and a bad one. The first 6 or so episodes actually had a decent dub. I was growing to love the series until Ginka's voice changed. Listen to this clip from episode 2.
Something bad were to happen when you fought Yugioh? I don't...
Look, Kenta, I'm traveling so that I can find opponents like that. I really need the challenge.
Now listen to this clip from episode 22. Sounded like the director told Ginka's voice actor to cut his balls off so he could sound like he hadn't hit puberty yet. PETA probably fed his balls to an inchworm or something. I seriously don't know what the hell happened. Ginka sounded like a kind, brotherly type in the first few episodes, but now he sounds like he got speech lessons from Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's the only thing that really stands out as bad from this dub. It probably wouldn't be on this list if Ginka's voice actor got his shit together. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal is the most hated Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, and there's a good reason why. Its dub is total shit. I hate 4Kids, especially what they did to Yu-Gi-Oh!, but this dub takes the cake. You can really tell that 4Kids was about to close down at this point. Yuma sounds so annoying that I want to punch him in his face. With spiked gloves. Tori is really annoying too. She sounds like she should be 5 years old. And then you have this dude. There's so many things wrong with him. Putting aside the fact that he looks like a thumb, he's voiced by someone whose voice is synonymous with one of the most beloved anime series of all time. His voice actor is the same dude who voiced Goku.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
He puts on the stupid Brooklyn accent that is so wrong for Sean Schemmel to do. I wonder what 4Kids likes about Brooklyn accents so much. All in all, if you can watch anime subbed, I suggest you do that with Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. It's not worth the bleeding ears you'll have afterwards. I read the first volume of the manga for Flame of Recca a little while back, and I liked how the series began. It had a great start with a decent amount of potential. Since it's really rare for me to buy more than one volume of a series, I decided to watch the anime. Keep in mind, this is when I wasn't used to reading subs, so I decided to watch the dub. I was a newly spawned anime fan, so I had no clue about the dark ages of dubbing. This dub is horrible. None of the voice actors can act for shit. It literally sounds like the dubbing company asked random people on the street to voice the characters. The dub is pretty bad by itself, but there's something that really makes it stand out in terms of shittiness. I'll let you find out for yourself by watching this clip. I have no clue why they pronounce ninja like that. It sounds really weeby. I get that's how a Japanese person would pronounce it, but I'm not Japanese. Voice actors aren't Japanese either. The way they say ninja really gets you when you hear it over and over again. I seriously stopped watching the first episode 10 minutes in because I just couldn't take it anymore. The horrible voice acting, combined with the way they said ninja, really turned me off. Whoops, sorry, I got confused. The shows are really similar. Pokemon X and Y has one of the worst dubs I've heard. It's literally Dora the Explorer, but you don't learn anything. I guess you do learn how not to voice act, so there's that. I tried to watch this dub 2 years ago, and I had higher hopes for the X and Y anime despite my hatred for the black and white anime. Namely because X and Y actually had better games than Gen 5 did. Or at least, the first 2 games. Ash sounds as cheesy as well. Cheesy. It's got the voice of your stereotypical, I'm an awesome action hero who always does the right thing, and nobody can bring me down! Don't get me started on Serena. Her voice annoys me so much that I want to punch her face and shove that giant hat in her mouth. Paimon is just smart because he is. He's really annoying and, like Serena, I'd do anything to shut him up. I'm pretty pissed at how much this dub sucks, not because I care about the series itself, but because it's the only anime airing during the day on Cartoon Network. This reinforces the stereotype that anime is just mindless garbage that only little kids watch. Out of the 4 dubs I've covered so far, 3 of them air or have aired on a network that isn't just anime-centric. Cartoon Network and Nicktoons really need to get on top of what dubs air on their channels, so for it to only air the shitty Pokemon dub during the day is really disappointing. As for Nicktoons, the only notable thing they air is SpongeBob reruns, so they don't really grind my gears as much as Cartoon Network, especially considering that Cartoon Network used to air anime during the day just a few years ago. Speaking of Cartoon Network airing anime during the day, oh, I can tell I've really pissed a bunch of people off, but in all honesty, I don't really care. This opening is fucking awesome, and so is Gundam Wing. Well, the part's not ruined by the dub. I'm a cheap hobo and I wanted to watch Gundam Wing on the giant TV I have in my basement. Since I didn't have an HDMI cord at the time, I watched Gundam Wing on YouTube. I actually went into the dub with good expectations. I knew full well that Gundam Wing was dubbed during the Dark Ages, but I ignored that. I think it was because Gundam Wing aired on Cartoon Network during the 90s. I have no clue why that had me worry less, but it did. The first character to speak was Zex. I honestly didn't mind his voice that much. Sure, it was a little cheesy, but not enough to ruin the dub. Then the other characters start talking. Hiro's voice is about the same as Zex. It's kinda cheesy, but it doesn't ruin the dub. In all honesty, I think his voice is the best performance. Everyone else's voice, though, is horrible. The other Gundam pilots have cheesy voices as well. As with the Flame of Recca dub, I'm pretty sure they just got the other pilots' voice actors off the street. The amount of cheesiness in this dub eventually grates on you, and then you just want to frickin' stop. I kept on watching though. There's only one voice that I'd truly call horrendous though, and that's Relena's. Her voice actress obviously doesn't give a single shit. Her voice is super annoying, and I think she could have been an okay character if she had a decent voice. I took a break from Gundam Wing because my TV stopped connecting to the internet for some reason. I came back a few months later and watched Gundam Wing on another TV in my house. Holy shit was my experience bad. There's a really important revelation that was about Relena, but her horrible voice acting made it funny instead of the intended result. In the same episode, there's this terrorist chick or something. I'm not gonna say much as not to spoil the episode, but her voice was so emotionless I laughed every time she said something. Then you have the shitty camera. The way it pans is horrible. I know it's not technically the dub's fault, but on top of the shitty voice acting, it really pissed me off. I really wanted to like Gundam Wing's dub. I gave more than an hour and a half of my time, but in the end I couldn't take it. If you ever want to watch an anime from the 90s, just watch it subbed. There's no reason to listen to this shitty voice acting just to see the whole screen, which isn't even worth it at all.